Hey guys, it's your girl Tamara, and today we're doing makeup look on this beautiful prom girly. So to get started, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the skin. And so to clean her skin, I'm using a toner. Whatever you choose to use to clean the skin, you can use and clean the skin. Also, you want to make sure you clean the lips too because of the dead skin and all. And I'm gonna go ahead because I'm gonna do her eyebrows. We're gonna, fill in the brows and shape them up. I'm gonna go ahead and trim her eyebrows. So I go ahead and comb it out with a spoolie, and you get a scissors, and we trim the brows. So she already have beautiful thick brows, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill her brows in. We really don't have to create a shape or define it too much. We're just filling it in so it could look nice and full. And after I fill it in, I'm gonna go ahead and brush out the brows. And like the beginning of our brows, that's where most of the hair is missing. So we go ahead and put a little bit of focus there and just fill it in very, very lightly. And then after we fill in the brows, I'm gonna go ahead and contour the eyebrows. So we get our concealer. I like to use like a couple shade lighter concealer. So right here, I went ahead and I used the concealer from MAC, the liquid concealer from MAC, and I'm using a flat brush. And this flat brush is from Anastasia. So yeah, so I follow the lines. So I'm really not trying to create a shape. So we're just following her natural brow line and going around it and just conceal, just so it could look more defined when we do the makeup. And so after we follow the natural shape of her brows, we'll go ahead and just blend it out so it doesn't look harsh. So that's where I'm going, blend the brows out. And what this brush is going to be, I got a brush set from Morphe, and that's what I'm using to blend the brow out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same technique that I did on the bottom of her brows. So we're doing the same technique on the top of her brows. So we're gonna go ahead and conceal the top of her brows. We are following the natural shape of the eyebrows. So going around and following the shape. I already blended out. So I'm gonna go on the eyelid with the same concealer that I used to conceal the eyebrows to place on the lid. And the purpose of this is so that it could keep the eyeshadow, it could make the eyeshadow stayed. Prior to this, I was using prior to this, I was using something else from a different brand, but it wasn't looking the way that I like it to look. So I cleaned it off and I went ahead and used the concealer instead. We place the concealer on the lid and make sure we have nice coverage. We go ahead and blend it out. Blend it out. And then after we're finished blending this out, I'm gonna go ahead and put some powder. And this powder, it's a setting powder. And whichever setting powder you desire to use to set your concealer for the lids, it doesn't matter. So here I'm using my setting powder to set the lids. And after I set the eyelid with the setting powder, I make sure I also blend it out. I went ahead with Juvia's palettes, and I believe the name of this palette is Cultured 2. So I went ahead, I mixed two different colors. So the color that I mixed was like a burgundy and like an orange, you know. So we went with the burgundy and orange color, and now I'm blending it out. I also bring it down to her lighter, like, or liner area in the outer corner. And also make sure you blend to perfection so that it doesn't look harsh, so you have a nice look. So I went ahead and put on my rhinestone. To put on the rhinestones, I use a clear lash glue, and you place the rhinestones in the area that you choose. Went and put a liquid liner on. So right here, I'm still fixing the rhinestones on the liner area, but I'm using like a purplish reddish rhinestones. So instead of do a full liner of rhinestones, I'm doing like half of rhinestones, so it's not overpowered, it's not too much. So there you go with the rhinestones. We put on the rhinestones on the bottom lash on, so halfway, not full. It could be very complicated because I wasn't using the rhinestone stick or whatever you call that silver thing. Instead, I used the back of my brush to pick up the rhinestones. And after that, we went ahead and put on some lashes. So these are individual lash. The thing I like about individual lash, they give a natural look, like, you know, you went to the salon to get them done. And they're not complicated, it just takes more time compared to using like a lash strip or something. Yeah, just take more time. And to pick up the lash, I use my tweezer to pick up the lash to place them on, and I also put glue on the lash so that they can stick. Okay, so we placing each strip of lashes one by one. And also, when you put on your lashes, you want to go over them with the tweezer, like squeeze them together, making sure that they're on properly. And then you want the person to open their eyes to make sure their eyes are not stick together with glue. So after I do that, now I'm preparing her skin for the foundation. You always want to make sure that you are hydrating the skin. So this this moisturizer that I'm using on her skin is from Clarins. Yeah, it's from Clarins. It's pretty good. So I went all over the skin, so you see the difference with her skin. It's glowing, it's looking it's popping. Yeah, so I go all over the skin, and I use my finger to kind of blend it in. And after I use my moisturizer, I want to use a primer. So this primer is from Malin, and it's also a hydrating primer, and I want to do the same thing that I do, blend it in with my hand. And then after I use my hydrating primer, I went ahead with my MAC primer. This one is like a shimmery glow primer. So now I put some Vaseline on her lips to keep the lips hydrated, because you know, like sometimes the lips are dry, and then when you just place products on the lip, it looks like it's peeling. So you want to do some skincare on the lips as well. Now right here, we're going to place the foundation on the skin. I put it on half of the skin first, you know, just to make sure the color looks good. We're blending it out. And now we're on the other side of the face. The color looks amazing. She's getting this filtered look. I'm going over the skin with my brush to blend out the foundation. to give you a nice mood blended look here. So after we finish blend the skin, we're gonna go ahead with our highlight, and highlight the T-zone area of the skin that we want to be highlighted. Highlight under her eyes, her chin, her nose area, and now her forehead area with our liquid highlighter. And this highlighter that I'm using is from MAC. I'm gonna go ahead with my beauty blender sponge, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend these area out. I like to spray my sponge with setting spray. It just make the product blend more easier and smooth on the skin, rather than, you know, just dry and rough. Or you could use water as well to wet your beauty blender, and, you know, allow it to apply the product more smooth and give it a softer look. So we're blending out, we're blending and blending and blending out our areas with this beauty blender. Now I'm gonna conceal and contour. So I'm using a concealer just in a couple shade darker to contour her skin. So whichever areas you desire to contour, we're going to go around the face and contour the skin with this darker shade concealer. So I'm doing her cheekbones, I do around her face, and the purpose of doing this is to bring back definition to the skin, because sometimes when you use the just a foundation, you just look flat, your face look flat. So we want to contour to bring back the definition into the skin. So after you place the contouring where you need to be, you're going to blend it out. So I'm using my brush to go ahead in those areas that I contour earlier to blend out. We're doing the nose, you know, so the nose doesn't look flat, and we're doing around the face right now, so we're blending it out. So you could use a brush to blend out your contour, or you could use your beauty blender. So this is her cheekbone area. We're using the beauty blender to blend out this area so it doesn't look like a sharp, harsh line. And you could do underneath the chin area, around, like around on both sides. You can blend it out so it could flow nicely with the skin tone of the rest of her body. So I'm just blending. So right now I'm placing the blush on. I'm using a liquid blush. I'm using my brush to place the blush on her cheek area. And you always want to be gentle, because the skin is very gentle. You don't want to be rough, because sometimes when you're, you know, moving too fast or too rough on the skin, it could move the products, and you could start seeing separation between the foundation and your client, or even your own skin. So I'm using my little handy dandy fan to, you know, make sure her skin is dry, because we want to prevent any makeup separation. And here I am going ahead and placing the blush on the other side of her cheek. So I'm using my brush to blend and being gentle. After I'm finished, I'm gonna go ahead with my setting powder under her eye. Pretty much gonna go in the areas that I highlighted earlier, so we can have the makeup stay in place. So in our T-zone areas, the areas that can get the most oiliest, because you know how it is with foundation wearing makeup. After a while, you're moving around, you could get oily. So we want to set this face so we are not oily throughout the day. So I go ahead, I put it under her eyes, put on her chin, on her nose, on her forehead, and under her jaw lines. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the excess powder from these areas by using my brush to brush away all the products that's no longer needed. Most important thing is we have the setting powder in the T-zone area, and we want to gently remove these products. So we're gonna go underneath her eyes just to make sure the product is set properly, because you know everyone's eyes are different. We don't want any folding of products or creasing of products underneath their eyes. So I'm going ahead and I'm making sure that this setting powder is properly blended on her skin. So now that we remove the excess powder from the T-zone area, we're gonna pretty much, it's kind of like you're dragging it out to the rest of the skin, because you know the whole skin can also get oily. Right now I'm lining her under eyes with a eyeshadow just to give it a more dramatic look. You see how those lashes on top look beautiful and dramatic? We want to create the same effect on the bottom lash without using lashes, even though we will have applied lash. We will apply lash on the, not lash, we're gonna apply mascara, my bad, on the bottom lashes. So now I'm using my foundation powder from, I believe, Maybelline, the Fit Me brand. It's very pigmented and I love it, and it's also matte, so it gives the skin a matte look, and it also blend the foundation and you know the highlights perfectly on the skin, so it bring back some color in the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead, use my MAC highlighter and highlight the upper part of her cheeks, on both sides. So I'm placing the product very gentle on the skin to give it a nice highlighted glow effect, and I'm making sure I'm not using too much or too little, just the right amount. And you know, we do this depending on what look that the person is trying to achieve, the look that the person is trying to achieve. So I'm going to go ahead and right now and place it on her nose, and whatever that's left over on the brush, we just go ahead and place it on the rest of her face just to give a nice glow effect. And you could also put it on your chin, whichever area you desire. So right now I'm going over her cheek with some powder blush. So I use a powder blush as like a setting powder for the cream or the liquid blush. And after I finish, I put some color in her tear duct area with the highlighter that we use on the skin. Right now I'm using a primer on her bottom lash just to make those lashes look fuller and give it like a more dramatic look. So we go ahead and put the primer on the bottom lash, and that was from Lancome. Right now I'm putting my mascara on the bottom lash, and this mascara is from Benefit Bad Gal, and I love this mascara because it doesn't mess with allergies. I know everyone is different, but for the most part, this doesn't mess with my allergy, doesn't mess with my client allergy. And we want to use products that's the safest for each and every one. So I love that this mascara give the dramatic look, but it doesn't make your eye red or runny or watery. And then we're gonna go ahead and place some of the mascara on the upper eyelid. Even though she have lashes on, you want to do this, place it on her lash, not the lashes that we place on the lash earlier. So yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to contour her lips with a lip pencil. After I contour the lip with a dark brown lip pencil, I'm going to go ahead and blend that color out. After I blend the color out, I'm placing a liquid matte lipstick from Anastasia. So we place it on the bottom and the top. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and use a lighter lip color. Blending it out right now. We blend it out so it can look, you know, smooth and natural. I'm using like a light, thin lip brush on her top and bottom lips to blend these products out. And I'm going over the lip liner area with the dark brown lip pencil again, just to, you know, create that nice ombre soft lips that she was looking for. So just making sure that we're blending these color out. Blend, blend, blend to create a nice smooth look. And after that, I went ahead with some lip gloss to create a nice shiny lip gloss look. I'm not sure if I did show you guys how to do that here, but we are putting some lip gloss on. As you can see, she have her lip gloss there. She is happy. She's feeling herself. She's ready to go out for prom. So this is the final look for this tutorial, this makeup prom rhinestone ombre lips tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on how I get this beautiful girl ready for prom with this makeup look. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.